qualitative and quantitative analysis involved. Whenever we go for any research methodology, you have qualitative research and quantitative research. In qualitative, the primary, the research methodology will be focusing on the opinions, attitudes, and the beliefs of the people. You may ask people what they feel and what are their opinion, how satisfied are they, will they refer to their clients, will they refer to their friends, will they come back again for the business. All this opinion, you can ask them, opinion, attitudes, and the beliefs. This you normally do, when you do an engagement survey or customer satisfaction index, or we call McKinsey, they conducted for a Boolean bank, organizational health index. There is a book called Beyond Performance, compiled by McKinsey. They are proposing organizational health index, finding out the aspiration of the executives and encouraging the top leaders to share their stories and diagnosing the pulse of the organization. They call HNI index. Okay, so here you can ask and reply questions of why, would, and how, all that we can ask. Okay, the methodology will be focus group discussions and in-depth interviews with the employees. Okay, in the quantitative research, on the other hand, focuses on data and hard numbers. Okay, ask and replies to questions of how many, who, where, and how often. These are the questions being asked. Surveys and data tracking forms such as satisfaction, salaries, remuneration survey we saw, the previous module. All these are an example of quantitative data. Surveys and data tracking forms such as satisfaction, salary, turnover reports, all these are examples. There are two kinds of data that we are working with. Not all evaluations will increasingly, they include the both. Some of the research only focus on qualitative, or some of the research methodology focus on both, combined. The quantitative data refers to the information that is being collected or can be translated into numbers. We can figuratively tell that, quantify the outcome of the results, and it can be displayed and it can be analyzed mathematically. We can tell number, you can number it. Whereas qualitative data are collected as descriptions, anecdotes, you can ask opinions, what they feel about. We call it climate survey. It's bound to change. It is not permanent. That's why we call climate survey, organizational climate survey. That means it's like a mood swing. It's a swinging. Okay, so interpretations, all that are generally either not able to be reduced to numbers or considered more valuable or informative as left as narratives. Okay, any questions in this? You can may I ask, have you done any survey in your organization? We all do, every year we do the survey, right? So in that survey, you may have a generic objectives, specific objectives, and you may infer the data, based on the findings, what they are talking about, the organization respondents' opinions about your organization, and thus you infer. That's how what they talk about, and then you figure out what are the priorities they are looking for, and you do the pilot study, and then you roll out, and then you give the main findings to the top management. Okay, let us move on to the next one. Can you try to answer this question? What is the main difference between a focus group and a group interview? B is the right answer, correct. Focus groups is a special type of group interview. Most group interviews are carried out to save time and possibility and money by carrying out a number of interviews at once. Okay, this is not the point of focus group. Here, what becomes interesting is the way the group members interact and develop topics for themselves as a result of their interaction. As most qualitative research, how many people share a particular point of view is not important. How people come to hold the views they have as a result of social interaction is the main reason for the focus group. So focus group means, all of you answered right. Brilliant. Vinayak, Ashok, and Mohammed, all of you, Aarti, So you bring the experts together, in a particular room or hall, and then you give a common problem, you statement of the problem, you give it to them, and then they all discuss about, give their different perspectives. Here, you don't analyze how many times the person is, opening his mouth or giving his opinion. That doesn't matter. What matters is what is being said, how the information, the dynamics happens, around the topic. That's what very important. The focus group focuses on. So we talked about before, remember Delphi technique. Delphi technique, what's Delphi technique? Anybody remember? Delphi technique, it's asking the experts, individually, not bringing them together, but then you ask them individually their opinion, expert's opinion, and then go back and forth, iterate and conclude, with the common findings. That's how you do the Delphi technique. Whereas nominal technique, you bring everyone together, and then you discuss about topic. Here we have in the qualitative research, we can take many forms. It can be observation, interviewing, case studies, focus group, and content analysis. Observation, okay, observation actually, it's a common method for qualitative data collection. Participant observation is also one of the most demanding. It's not easy because, for example, when you are being observer, you have to play a role of being one with them. They should not feel that you are being you are a third person, or you have to be one with them, to being with them and observe what's going on. For example, it may take years also, sometimes 6 months together. They go to a certain tribe community, and then they live with them, and then observe what's going on. Then you would have seen the documentary is being done, and they study about the tribal community, how they live, the way of life, all that they document. So it requires that the researchers become a participant. You become one with them in the culture or context being observed. The literature on the participant observation discusses on how to enter the context, the role of the researcher as a participant. The collection and the storage of the field notes and the analysis of the field data, all these are very important. Participant observations requires, it may take months or years of intensive work, because researchers needs to become upset. They have to be accepted within the community, and they have to, they have to get the buy-in from the people, so that they will not they should not feel that this person is a threat, or he's some alien coming and poking his nose. They should not feel that. They should feel that you are one among the participants. That should be the approach. Then we have interviewing. In the interviewing techniques, you have we have already seen structured interview, semi-structured interview, and behavioral interview. All that we have seen in the recruitment perspective. But here, at the research methodology, you are involving the direct interaction between the researcher and the respondent, and then you are collecting the data. What is the advantage of this interviewing? Interviewing, you are doing observing and also getting the direct information from the candidate, and being the candidate, the respondent are being observed, and also they are also been asked direct questions and get the primary information, and the problem with that is actually it may take long time. It's not practically possible if you have sample sizes too big. And then interviewing also can be done through questionnaire. Questionnaire can be rolled out, and then you can ask questions and come out with the conclusion, analyze. Then you have case studies. Case studies acts as a detailed analysis of the person, group, or specific context. Something happened in the past. I have shared with you Cardinal Health, the case study. In that case study, you would have seen within the organization, multinational corporation, the healthcare industry, they have rolled out many types of appraisals, right? Appraisals with objective, appraisal without objective, appraisals without any rating scale, all that experimental they done. And then they talked about the pros and cons of each methodology. And then they also comparatively looked at the appraisals with the engagement score, whether these appraisals increase, the engagement level of the employees. All that they analyzed in multi-dimensional, multi-perspectives within the organization across different verticals. And then they published as a case study. Okay, the case study I already shared with you. Okay, that is one of the examples. Then the focus group. The focus group selects and and assembles a group of individuals to discuss and document on from a personal experience the topic that is the subject of the research. Okay, you focus on certain topic. Okay, and then you bring the experts together, and then all of them give their opinion, suggestions, and then you come out with the conclusion. Then there is another methodology called content analysis as a systematic, replicable technique for compressing many words of the text into a fewer content categories and based on the explicit rules of coding. Last class I was mentioning, there are different methodology. Can come on, remember? Pastor method, Branson method. Then there is another one, case study. You can also give first statement of the problem, then you can give your recommendations. Free. What are the? Do you remember? I was mentioning about different content analysis. You have big data or essay form, and how you can present in a summarized way. Can someone remember? Anyway, first, when you have tons and tons of data, when you are presenting to top management or executive board, you give it in a condensed form. The condensed form can be, you can apply different methodology, like first stating, briefly about the overall scenario, the context, and then you can drill down the problem, what are the pain areas, and then what would be the what's the current scenario, what is possible future scenario, and what are the future recommendations. That's how you can conclude with the small captions. Like that you can structure it. There are different ways of presenting it, okay, in a content analysis. Let's talk about this quiz. In measures of central tendency, what is equivalent to the 50th percentile? The 50th percentile, we discussed this in the total rewards class. We talked about, the quartile, 25th percentile, 50th percentile of the salary, 75th percentile of the salary, above the median. We talked about, over the way above the market pay, that 75th percentile people are paying, and then there are people paying below the median, 25th percentile. On that we discussed. Excellent. Arti, Mohammed, everyone answered correct answer. Ashok also. Median is the right answer. Very brilliant. So, the name itself, you can draw the inference. 50th median means middleman. Middle of. So the term central tendency refers to the middle value, or perhaps a typical value of the data, and is measured using the mean, median, or mode. The median is the middlemost score in a distribution. Exactly half of the scores fall above and half below the median. It is the equivalent to the 50th percentile. Next slide. Okay, here we are looking at mean, median, and mode. Explained here. Okay, so when you get to a big set of data, there are small, there are all sorts of ways to mathematically describe the data. You have for example, you have the salary of all your employees, more than 800 employees you have, in where Aarti and Vinayak works. So you have data, good voluminous data. So you can, with that data, you can come out with, average used with the, what is the average salary of the employees, and mean, median, and mode are all types of, talking about in one way or other, it's all talking about averages only, averages. Together with the range, they help to describe the data. You can give the insights by giving an interpretation with the, mean, median, and mode. Okay, let us look at what's a mean. When people say average, they usually are talking about the mean. You can figure out the mean by adding up all the numbers in the data and then dividing by the numbers in the data and then dividing by the number of numbers. Okay, for example, you have 12 numbers. Okay, you add them up and divide by 12. Okay, this would give you the mean of the data. Okay, what's the mean? Okay, what's the median? Then median is the middle number of the data set. Okay, and for example, a person, okay, it's mean is actually imagine there are 3 people are there, getting $1, A person, B getting $1, and another person, third person, getting $1,000. What will be the mean salary? Yes.
Beginner level salary?
No. One person,
sorry, middle.
$1, another person, second person, $1, third person, $1,000. So what is the mean salary? Mean?
It's 1,000.
No.
No, sorry, $100.
Can you repeat the question again?
No, for example, Vinayak is getting $1. Okay, Aarti is getting $2. Okay, Mohammed is getting $1,000. What is the mean salary?
Is it 334?
Excellent, correct. How do you get that 334? Add all the 3 and
1,000 plus 2 plus 1 divided by 3.
Yeah, 1,003 divided by 3. Okay, that's the mean. Okay, then median is the middle number of the data. It is exactly like as it sounds. Earlier the question you answered correctly. You said median salary. All of you answered correctly. So exactly the center. Okay, highest to the lowest or lowest to the highest. You put all the numbers in ascending order. Okay, then you try to divide. I'll tell you now. Okay, if there are even number of data points, then you need to pick the two middle numbers. Okay, and then you pick them together and divide by 2. Okay, the number will be your median. For example, the median salary rate is the salary that is exactly the middle if every person is placed in the rank according to the salary. Okay, the same example, can you tell me what is a median person? For example, as I told you, Vinayak is getting $1, Aarti getting $2, Mohammed is getting $1,000. What is the median salary? Aarti getting 1.
Is it 2?
2 only, correct, exactly. Whatever comes in the 2.
It's a median.
2 only, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the middle.
Middle, yeah. So, for example, if a person is, for example, Aarti getting $1, Vinayak getting $2, okay, and then Sonal is getting $5, Mohammed is getting $1,000. What will be the median?
Can you repeat again, please?
Yeah, Aarti $1, Vinayak $2, okay, and Sonal is getting $4, okay, and Mohammed is getting $1,000. What is the median?
Is it 1.5?
2 plus 4.
Median 2 values.
Yeah, 2 plus
6.
6 divided by 2. 3.
Sorry, 6 divided. Yeah,
3.
3.
3. Yeah, 3 is the median. Okay. So that's how now when the even numbers, you have to add up this middle 2 and divide by 2. Okay, just to give another example. Okay. And odd number you can take, middleman. Understood, right? Okay. So the median salary, as you rightly mentioned, the first scenario $2, second scenario $3. Okay, half the people are having the salaries above the median, and half the people are getting salary below the median. Okay, when I first asked you to find out the mean, you all said it is mean is actually, you said $334. That means it's misleading me. I'm thinking that everyone is fairly paid, but in reality, people are getting $1, and one person is getting $1,000, and you are giving a mean 334, which is misleading. That is not reality. It is right now, but median, it's giving you, telling you, accurately. Oh, that is not right. 50% of the people are below this, and 50% of the below above this. You get accurate. You get more. What do you call it? More clarity on the data set, right? You agree? Otherwise, always the mean will mislead you. It goes with the average. It will always mislead you. For example, when someone is paid a lot more than others, like in this example, the mean is strongly influenced. Okay, when you say the average mean is $334, which you said before, mean, it looks like everyone is doing okay. The median is more reflective. Okay, so for example, that half the people do worse than the $2. Okay, you can say, when you say $2, that means only $2 is a median. That means half of the people are below the $2, half of the people are above the $2. That gives you more clarity. So for salary data, the median salary or net compensation is a salary in the middle. It's that is half of the employees and below this level. Okay. Then what is mode? Mode is a number that appears the most. there are few tricks to remember about the mode. Okay, if there are two numbers that appear most often and the same number of times, then the data has two modes. Okay, this is called bimodal. Possible. Two modes also possible. If there are more than two, then the data would be called multimodal, also possible. If all the numbers are appears to be, same numbers, then there is no mode. Okay, no mode. Okay, I'll give an example. Imagine that you live in a small town where most of the people are employed by a factory, and even and they are earning very minimum wage, nominal wage. One of the factory owners lives in the town, and his salary is in the millions of dollars. This employer. If you use a measure like average to try to compare the salaries in the town, it will be misleading. Like, what we got $334, whereas people are getting $1, $2, and only one person is getting $1,000. Okay, so this is where the measure of mode can be useful in the real world. Okay, it tells you what most of the pieces of the data are doing within the set of that information. Okay, for example, if you want to tell me, I ask you some questions regarding mode. For example, 1, okay, then 2, and 1, 2, 2, 5, 10. What is a mode?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
1, 2, 2, 5, 10. So what is the mode? $1, then $2, $2, $5, $10. What is the mode?
2.
Correct, 2. Yeah. And it can be multimodal also, I can tell you 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, 10. That means 2 and 4 both can be
Divided by 2.
Sir?
2 and 4, we have to consider 2 and 4 separately or divided by 2?
No. 2 and 4 both are mode. Bimodal. It can be bimodal also. Example for bimodal. You are just looking at, you are not doing any average anything, just looking at the numbers and looking at, clustering with the same numbers, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4. So there are bimodal possible. There are possible also multimodal also possible. 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, 7, and 10. Here, how many modes? 3 modes are there, no?
3 more. 3
Yeah,
more.
3 mode, yeah. It's a multimodal also possible. If all the data are like, for example, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, is there any mode?
No.
No mode. Okay. If all the numbers are same, no mode. No mode. Mode, you understood the mode concept. No, mode means it can be bimodal, or it can be multimodal, or it can be no mode at all. Okay. Mode is actually looking at, the number which are occurring more frequently. That's a mode. Got it? You look at the data set and then which of the numbers are occurring most frequently, together, similar, that are called mode. Okay. Range. What is a range? We talked about, total rewards, the range, minimum salary, mid salary, and maximum salary. And what's the range spread? Minimum, mid, and salary, maximum salary. What is the range spread? Last class, while we were talking about remuneration, we talked about range spread. Salary range spread. Salary for a grade 8 salesman is getting 250 KD salary minimum and 300 and 450 as a maximum. What is the range spread? Tell me.
The range is the difference, which give us the difference between the highest and lowest numbers, correct?
Brilliant. That's right. So here in the scenario, what's the number? Salesman.
For
Grade
which number?
grade 8, grade salesman, minimum salary 250, 350 mid salary, and maximum 450.
So again, 250, it's...
Yeah. And then 350 and 450. Range spread for the grade
100.
200. You know, maximum, I see rightly said, maximum minus minimum. You know, for this grade 8, the range spread for the grade 8, it's maximum minus minimum. Clear? Huh? For example, you are taking a test, no, exam test score. Let's say your best score was 100, Sendam, you know, Mia, and your worst score was 75. Okay, then the rest of the scores don't matter for the range. Okay, the range you in the salary range also, you don't take about the you don't consider the mid salary. Okay, you talk about minimum and maximum, and difference between the maximum and minus, right? Minimum, that's called give you range spread. For this marks, I talked about 100, and best mark 75 is the lowest. What's the range spread? What is the range spread?
$25?
Yeah, 25. 25 is the right answer. Correct. You can see the screen. Okay. Last is disappeared, right? Okay, this one you answered already. What's the answer for this? Yeah, median you already said. Okay, next slide. Okay, we talked about all that. Okay, now. Okay, range spread we talked about. Here, you see interpreting correlation coefficient. Okay, here we are talking about here the first graph what you see is a perfect correlation. Guys, you can see the full screen. Hello? Are you with me?
Yes, the full screen is, yeah, we can see.
So you see, first one, you are seeing the perfect correlation, okay? X-axis and Y-axis, the data spread is, linear sequentially, going progressive, this is perfect correlation. And then the second one is less than perfect negative correlation. Use the mouse. Pointer option.
When the question is coming, that time the screen is not full.
For example, the second one, it's kind of interpret in the okay here. Okay, it is going positively, right? This is called perfect positive correlation. Okay, when you see the data set, in the data set you'll have the two variables will be there. Okay, you need two variables. When you plot them in the graph, you will not see in the reality. You will not see any perfectly. You cannot draw any line. You will see only cluster. So from the cluster, you may see. You can see some pattern, pattern of formation of, the clusters. So if it is forming towards this, then it's a positive correlation. Then if it is forming from backward, it's called negative correlation. Okay, if there is a clustering randomly here and there is no pattern, then zero correlation. Okay, so if it is all together, it's called perfect negative correlation. Okay, it's less than perfect positive correlation, because the data is randomly here and there, so less than perfect positive correlation. And then here, if you will get a data pattern like this, zero linear correlation. These are all very important when you have, for example, data set, and the data has been presented like this. You can easily say, this is positively correlated, this is negatively correlated. For example, your skill set, your qualification is very high and skill set going up, and more likely you are getting more pay, right? Okay, it's positive or not? It's a positive correlation, right? So like that, you for example, there is another inference also. The more the employee engagement, which leads to what the result will be. The more the employee engagement results in more productivity, right? Productivity will be more. Okay, so that way we can put the data here and then say, there's a positive correlation. The more the engagement, the more the more the productivity. That's why we can prove that. Can you tell me the answer? An integrity test results are consistent, and the test measures what is intended to measure, then the result is considered. Most of the Walmart, and also there is Amazon and other big retail shops in US, Canada, they use very much the integrity test, administer the test to figure out whether during the recruitment process. Mohammed and Arthi all answered D. D is the right answer. Both reliable and valid. Okay, so this is very, very important definition you all should remember. Here you are given a clear explanation of the reliability and validity. Earlier also I talked about this same topic. Now again is reinforcement. Okay, reliability is we have seen in the quiz or question and answer also, reliability means repeatability, consistent. Remember, we talked about. So reliability is a consistency of your measurement, or the degree to which an instrument measures the same way each time it is used under the same condition with the same subjects. That is reliability. It is giving you same results. Okay, validity refers to the degree to which a study accurately reflects or assesses the specific concepts that the researcher is attempting to measure. Validity refers to the degree to which the study accurately reflects or assesses the specific concept that the researcher is attempting to measure. Okay, let me give you an example. Reliability, for example, you are suffer, this summertime, everyone is going for a vacation, right? You all guys are traveling. So in Kuwait Airways, they are giving a provision of 23 kg, 2 luggages you can carry, right? Two boxes, 23 plus 23, plus hand luggage 7 kg, right? You have a weighing machine at home. This weighing machine is having some problem, faulty machine, but if it is showing the result 25 kg means it's 23 kg. Okay, so most of the weighing machines like that, it is giving you 2 kg more. But whenever you do, measure, it's giving you same results. Okay, for example, you need to carry 23, so if it is showing 25, is it okay or not okay? No need to be panic. Okay, it is 25 means 23 only. Okay, because that machine is faulty, but still is giving you same results. It is reliable or what? Reliable or valid? It's reliable, right? Consistent, and it's giving you repeated results. Okay, even though it's faulty. And then, for example, you are doing a lot of recruitment test, psychometric test, group test, and all the aptitude test you are doing, and then you are selecting a person based on the good score. You assume that the person will perform very well, and you are looking at after he joins the probation period, his results are pretty good. So you can correlate. The more the score he gained in the aptitude test, psychometric, all that, he found to be he's a good employee, right fit. So that is validity. Validity means the measure, what you intend to measure, found to be right. Okay, so we have seen validity and the reliability. Okay, so here I have given you example in the, you all play dot game. If the results are like this, in the middle, it is valid. Okay, and as I told you, the weighing machine is a faulty machine. Always, it's 25 means 23, right? But every time I weigh, it is giving you correct results only. Okay, so even if it is showing 22 means I have only 20 luggage. 22 luggage, 23 if it shows, 22 if it is showing, then that means I have only 20 kg. So I can add 3 more kg also. So it is actually invalid, but it's reliable. It is reliable. Okay, if it is not giving you, it's if it is not here and it's every randomly spread, that means invalid. It's not reliable. It's not valid. Okay, so 2 of the primary criteria of evaluation in any measurements or observations are whether we are measuring what we intend to measure. That's what validity. Validity means whether we are measuring what we intend to measure, whether the same measurement process yields the same results. Okay, these 2 concepts are what we're talking about is validity and reliability. Reliability is concerned with the questions of the stability and the consistency. Okay, does the same measurement tool yield a stable and consistent results when repeated over time? Here we see this example, the weighing machine, even though it's faulty, but it's giving you repeatedly giving you right results. Think about measurement process in construction of woodworking. A tape measures is a highly reliable measuring instrument. You say you have a 2 piece of wood that is 2.5 feet long, and you measure it once and twice, thrice, you get the same results. It's 2.5 feet only. Okay, so measure it again and again, you get only 2.5 feet. So measure it repeatedly, and you consistently get a measurement of 2.5 feet. The tape measures yields a reliable results. Validity. What is a validity then? It refers to the extent to which we are measuring what we hope to measure or what we think we are measuring. Okay. To continue with the example of measuring the piece of wood, tape measures that has been created with accurate spacing of inches, and feet, etc. Everything is clearly defined. If everything is clear, then it should yield valid results as well. Okay, measuring this type of wood with a good tape measure should produce a correct measurement of the wood's length, and the width. Everything will be correct, accurate. That is called valid. Okay, so what is the relationship between the validity and the reliability? The 2 do not necessarily go hand in hand. 2 are different concepts. At best, we have measured that has both. It's possible that, for example, in this type A, it is possible that you get the results like this, valid and reliable. Okay, so it yields consistent results in a repeated application, and it accurately reflects what we hope to represent. Accuracy, preciseness, and it's giving you repeatedly same results. Okay, that means it's both valid and reliable. Okay, it is possible to have a measure that has high reliability. Here you see in this picture, high reliability. I'm getting Alatul, getting in a different direction. My dot is going, but then whenever I put aim the dot, it's going in the same place, and it is reliable, but not valid. It's possible. It's possible to have that you can have high reliability and low validity. One that is consistent in getting the bad information or consistently missing the mark. It is missing the bullseye, but it is always going in this direction. It is possible to have a reliability, but not valid. It is also possible to have one that has low reliability and low validity, inconsistent and not on target, that you see in the C, is invalid. Finally, it is not possible to have a measure that has low reliability and low validity. Low reliability and high validity. It's not possible. Okay. You can't really get at what you want or what you are interested in your measure. It is fluctuating wildly. No, it's not possible. All of you understood the reliability and validity. You all take, for example, GMAT, TOEFL or IELTS score, and then you go abroad and go for a higher education. And this test scores, indicates higher the score, likely you perform well in the graduation studies. Okay, that's a correlation. That means the test is highly robust. It's giving you predicting that the person will perform well in the studies. Okay, that means valid. That way that's one example I can give you. Can you answer this question? The effective management of human resources in a firm to gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace requires. Before getting into this topic, you have any questions related to reliability and validity? Is it clear? Clear, okay. Okay, all of you answered. 3 answer I got. B or C. Vinayak A. Okay, the effective management of human resources in a firm to gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace requires. You need to benchmark with other companies, we need what kind of information you need to have. The effective management of human resources in a firm to gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace. You need to have right information, right? Accurate information and timely information is important so that you can benchmark with against others. So business leaders need accurate and timely decision supports information to be effective, including their talents and employees. All of you must be having a good system in your company. When you have the robust system, it is helping you to make a quick decision, right decisions. Okay, so the business leaders need accurate and timely decision support informations to be effective, including their talents and employees. Accurate and timely information is what the corporate executives are in need of to make appropriate decisions and best positions their organizations to mitigate the impact from the crisis. Thus, HR support the company's business strategies with better, faster workforce decisions informed by data. It's very important. We all having a good system is very important. Timely, accurate information is, whenever you do the payroll, month after month, it's very accurate. It has to be, proper. So when you talk about HRIS, data analytics, most of the organization are at this level only. Most of them reactive or proactive this level only. Not many of them going up to this level, strategic and predictive modeling. It's very rare. So reactive level, it's talking about basic reporting, operational measurement, or efficiency and compliance. It is giving you data, accurate data, but beyond that, nothing. It's not helping you. In the second level, proactive, you get advanced reporting, operational measurement for benchmarking and decision making. The third level is more of strategic information. It is helping you to react to analytics. You can do segmentation, statistical analysis, development of people models on it. The fourth level is very sophisticated, which is predictive analytics. You can do scenario planning, predictive models, scenario and risk mitigation. All that you can do. So the term data analytics refers to the use of advanced analytics tools and programs to look at vast amounts of employee data, customers, and transaction data. Nowadays, you are aware of AI, machine learning, artificial intelligence. It's all run on Python. We are offering Python courses and data analytics, big data analytics. It can maneuver the big data, and then it can any number of times you try to analyze, and different scenarios you can regenerate models, different models. So in case of human resources and talent management, organizations have a huge amounts of people related data. Okay, now how is possible AI and machine learning with the click of queries, it can generate populate results, because they have layers of data. Over the period, we have developed technology. It can combine the possible comparison, and then giving you iterations, and then making you possible conclusion. So it's all possible nowadays. Very sophisticated technology has come. So let us look at the basic level, the more reactive. We have day in, day out, we are all dealing with the data. We are talking about skills. What's the skill levels of the employee, performance ratings, age. You may come across the tenure experience of the employees, safety records, sales performance, educational qualifications, and you may also talking about what is the previous role, how many years of experience, total experience. All that you need to keep track of all the employees. Okay, so which can be used for better understanding organization current composition, who are the workforce, what kind of aptitude and what kind of competencies you have, their performance level and the risk level. All that you can have a data, solid data. Okay, so in terms of analysis of the databases, so large, the database is so large, and they do not fit into traditional database technologies. Okay, people analytics gives organizations the capacity to leverage the data in order to address the challenges faced by the HR. But also, it is helping you to manage your core businesses. Okay, with the technology, it provides organizations the ability to develop and implement the people strategy in line with the business strategy. Okay, for example, when you are increasing the level of production, and it's also giving you idea how many number of resources required, what kind of infrastructures you needed, in proportion to the output. Okay, so improving the performance across the broad range of metrics, it helps you, to make a quick decision. These are hundreds of new tools, available, consultants and techniques for analyzing the data. According to Bursin, you can also look at, I'll send you the YouTube, what he's talking about. He's advisor for Deloitte. He has categorized into this level, basic reporting, advanced reporting, and reactive analytics and predictive analytics. This is how he proposed. The basic reporting is saying it's more of reactive, operational reporting of efficiency and compliance measures, focusing on data accuracy and consistency and timelines. In those days, you would have seen the companies, they have ERP, what you call, what you call MIS, Management Information Systems, and EDP department, they used to call Electronic Data Processing Department, like that, very basic data they capture, like FastPro, mainframe, those days, standalone information they have, but then very accurate, they get basic reporting efficiency, they had capability. The advanced reporting after RDBMS, relational database management, come, Oracle and all subsidiary technology, Java and all evolve. It is giving you proactive operational reporting for benchmarking and decision making, multi-dimensional analysis, and it's some extent it's comes with the dashboards also, a business suite. You may have Oracle, it comes with the Fusion, the module, which is helping you to do some predictive analytics. Okay, then reactive analytics, statistical modeling, root cause analysis, solve the business problems, proactively identifying the issues and recommending actionable solutions. Okay, when there are very few companies, they have gone into this predictive analytics, which is development of predictive models, scenario planning, risk analysis and mitigation, integration with the strategic planning. The higher an organization is on this maturity scale, the better its capabilities to solve more complex problems and develop a people strategy. Okay, with ever increasing amounts of data becoming available to organization, people analytics is the fast becoming a strategic necessity, rather than luxury. Now we are moving towards AI and machine learning. It's also, it's becoming people, organizations start realizing, the importance of automating and reducing the cost and improving the efficiency. With that, we are completing the data and analysis. Before that, I just wanted to, rerun the whole thing. Who come late, we understood this focus group, all that, So here we talked about observation, interviewing, case studies. Any questions on this is very important, on the research methodologies. Case study is an intensive study, a specific individual, it can be specific context, which is done fast, Focus group, what is a focus group? focus groups are very helpful when you want to come out with a solution for you are facing some challenge or complex problems. You bring the experts together, understanding, for example, labor issues. Is a very effective tool, focus group, helping to understand the needs and concerns of the employees by using the focus groups. When facilitated, it has to be facilitated properly. The focus group will give you a significant insights into what your employees are thinking about. What are their perception, what are their primary needs, that you can figure out. Yeah, focus group discussion is a good way to gather the people together, in the town hall meeting, like bringing people together, experience to discuss a specific topic, their interest. The group of participants is guided and moderator, and the facilitator has to be highly skilled facilitator, who introduces the topic for the discussion and helps the group to participate. And he kind of freewheeling, he will not interrupt anything, and he generate the data through give and take group discussion. He facilitate the group discussions, not just about what they think, but why they think the way they do. Okay, why they do, what they think, how he is not focusing on what they think, but what is the reality, why they think what they really do. Okay, the ideal size of the focus group is generally 6 to 12 people. Okay, the group encourages the participants to concentrate and contribute towards the topic being given, given ideas towards the topic. The question should be open-ended, and so that there are more possible scenarios, perspective will come, and you have to be more listening, asking each other the questions about what they hear, and generally reacting to each other. The dynamics happens. It is totally different dynamic from the interview. The focus group is something different from the interview techniques. Then we talked about content analysis. Content analysis, provides an empirical basis for monitoring the shifts in the public opinion. Data collected from HR projects. For example, we see the trend, in those days, 40s, 60s, 70s, we talked about employee relations, record keeping, and then the pattern changed to employee relations, HR, and human resource development. Now we are talking about human strategic business partnering, all that, the pattern we see. So 1990s can be objectively compared to data collected at one point of time. And now the technology changes related to standards based on, how the HR is evolving, from record keeping to strategic business partnering. And also you see the technology side, Foxpro is standalone to relational database, and then advancing towards the AI, machine learning, on the more of predictive and decision making, data mining, all that the trend is happening. This is how you see the pattern, and then you talk about writing. This content analysis helps you to figuratively talk about various scenario, what has happened in the previous and current and future. We talked about interpreting the data, and we are clear about this, median, mode, and mode, and we talked about also range also, and percentile. What is a percentile? Percentile, we talked about, what is a percentile is described as a comparison score. Your children might be scoring 75th percentile, 80th percentile. It's a common term, all kinds of testing of the data. Many percentile, as they relate personality assessments or salary survey. If you score at 75th percentile, means P75 you talk about. On the IQ test, you did as better than 75% of the ones taking the test. Better than, on the IQ test, you did as well as better than 75% of the ones taking the test. Okay, 75th percentile. You are scoring 75% of the ones taking the test. You better than those 75%, 70% of the people. Okay, that's what it indicates. Then we have quartiles. In the data set, from you can have first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile. Quartiles are the values that divide the set of data into 4 equal parts. Okay, 25th up to 0 to 25, first quartile, 25th to 50th percentile, second quartile, 50th to 75th, 75 is third quartile, 70th to 100, fourth quartile. Okay, so the owner of a supermarket, for example, you are standing in the Lulu hypermarket, and then looking at the customers who come into the store each hour of the day. In the morning, you are looking at from morning opening from 9 to 10, how many people are frequenting. In the working days, very few people are going, weekend it will be more. And that in the morning it will be less, maybe evening it will be more crowd. So then you take the number, the results, you are putting the numbers like randomly, 12 people, 8 people, 10 people, like that. Then you put all the numbers in ascending order. Okay, then you figure out the quartiles, the lower the quartile, the first quartile, the median quartile, how many, and then the upper quartile. This is how you do the analysis for the people who are frequenting the hypermarket. And also your salary also, if you take at the salary of all your employees, you can also look at what's a quartile, people are being paid, upper quartile or lower quartile also we can infer. That we saw in the total rewards, 75th percentile, that means above the median, they are being super overpaid, 25th percentile means they are underpaid. And we saw the reasons also why they are being paid like that. Then reliability and validity we saw, very important concept. What is reliable? Reliability means stability, consistency, or repeatability. Reliability means repeatability. Same measurement tools yield stable and consistent results when repeated over time. What is validity? The extent to which we are measuring what we hope to measure. Any doubts in this very important topics here? No? Huh?
No, all is clear from my end.
Clear, huh? Okay. Then we'll move to the performance measure, business performance. Okay, let me first give you the first what is balanced scorecard, then I'll come to the question. Okay, so how many of you heard about the balanced scorecard? How many of you anyone do you have experience in implementing balanced scorecard? So the balanced scorecard is a concept that organization strategy must be translated into terms that can be understood and acted upon. Balanced scorecard is a tool, is helping you implement your strategy. Most of the strategy fail, 80% of the strategy fail because of lack of execution. Execution excellence is need of the hour, very important. So this is accomplished by translating the corporate vision and mission and strategy into a set of strategic objectives. You take the strategic vision and mission into a different perspective, the 4 important perspective of financial perspective, okay, then internal business perspective, the learning and growth perspective, and customer perspective. Okay, so you take that vision and mission, you just figure out what is the mission we're talking about, and then strategy, the set of strategic objective. From the vision mission, you derive the objectives. Okay, that derive the behavior and the performance. Okay, the vision and mission, and then from that your strategy, and then strategic goals. From that strategic goals into a set of strategic objectives, and then derive the behavior of and the performance. Okay, and then you set the targets, and you also come out with the initiatives. Okay, this is how it's been cascaded. It also uses the language of measurement to more clearly define the meaning of the strategic concepts like quality, customer satisfaction, employee engagement score, and growth of the entity. So a scorecard that accurately describes the strategy can serve as a organizing framework for the management system. It is like organizations to drive in a certain direction. It's helping you for the organization to have a proper metrics. Okay, and most of the time, we are linking the balanced scorecard with the individual scorecard. That is wrong. That's scorecard is not meant for evaluating the individual performance. Okay, that may make it clear. Okay, a typical balanced scorecard classifies objectives into one of the 4 perspectives. As you see here, from the strategy goal, financial perspective, customer satisfaction, internal business process, and learning and growth. Each objective is associated with one or more measures that permit the organizations to gauge progress towards the objective. Every perspective is been given a proper metrics, objectives, and then you try to analyze how far you are able to achieve that set target. Achievement of the objective in each perspective makes it possible to achieve the objective in the next higher perspective. For example, financial perspective, you may have certain objective, like our objective will be achieving a profit margin by 2% and reducing the inventory. You have target, and then you all come out with the objective and the initiatives to achieve those target. Okay, each perspective of the balanced scorecard includes objectives. Measure you also come out with the measures. You measure definition also you give, of those objectives. Then the target values for those measures and the initiatives. You come out with the initiatives towards that objective. Okay. So let me explain what is objective. Objectives, the major objective a company must achieve. For example, profitable growth, high employee engagement score. The observable parameters of a company uses to measure its progress toward reaching the objectives. For example, a company might measure its progress towards the objective of profitable growth by growth in the net margin. Okay, the targets can be specific target values of the performance measures. For example, 2% growth in the net margin. Okay, the initiatives can be action programs a company takes initiate to meet its objective to achieve the 2% net margin. Okay, the balanced scorecard is a new performance measurement system that adds strategic non-financial performance measures to traditional financial metrics to give managers, executives a more balanced view of organizational performance. When you talk about the balanced scorecard, it does not talk about only the financial objective. It is talking about non-financial objective as well, okay, which are intangible, like people issues and all that. It also combined with that, both. Why the balanced scorecard is required in the first place? Because those days the stakeholders they're concerned about only profit, philus, money matters. Because only if you focus on money, profit, the company may suffer. In the short term, they may win, but the sustainability will be a question mark. That's why they introduced the balanced scorecard. We need to have balanced approach, so that we can have sustainability for over a period of time. Okay, so that we need to have why the balanced scorecard approach again. The balanced scorecard is a management accounting report that connects a firm's critical success factors to measurement of the performance. Critical success factors are specific, now as we see, measurable financial and non-financial elements of a firm's performance that are vital for the competitive advantage. And you all know KPIs, OKRs, KPIs we talked about, also known as key performance or success indicators, help the organizations to define the measure progress towards the organizational goals. The key performance indicators are the metrics that may be the part of the balanced scorecard. For example, you have objectives. The objectives are, objectives are broken down into measurable KPIs. Big objectives you have in order to achieve the net margin of 2%. How you achieve? By having a KPIs linked with the individuals, top management to top to bottom people, and also for the departments, KPIs are being set. So the key performance indicators are the metrics that may be part of the balanced scorecard. KPIs are quantifiable measurements agreed to beforehand, that reflect the critical success factors of the organization. KPI is actually, it is relevant for the financial numbers, all that, and it's not relevant for other scenarios. Like that's why the OKRs are more relevant. Mohammed, you talked about OKRs. OKRs are,
Yes.
OKRs, are very relevant, which are non, the KPIs are only meant for, people who have number, target, measurable, right? But OKRs is having a broader scope, right? So then we have in the KPIs, you have lagging indicators and leading indicators. Lagging indicators, lagging KPIs are, for example, I have done some sales, and the sales figures being reported by finance, in their profit and loss and also balance sheet. They take the number and then they feed. That is postmortem work they're doing. Okay, that is done after the something is done. That's called lagging KPI, historical measurements that look back to determine if the success was achieved. They report in the financial statements, right? So financial measures are lagging indicators. They prove how well the firm has performed, okay, in the past. Leading KPIs are activity or task-based metrics that are measured yearly and can be influenced to affect the future outcomes. For example, if you give a proper customer care, or if you do a psychometric for your customer friend of, interfacing, customer interfacing, frontline executives, if you take care of them, they'll take care of the customers and bring more revenue. So invest more on, customer service training and how to deal with the customer, and all. You give the more training, that result in more productivity, right? So that is a leading indicator, okay, that are predictive power of success. They are measured today to determine if the goals will be met tomorrow, okay, and they are measured early and often enough to allow for the changes that can impact the predicted outcome. So you should focus more on leading indicators. Have you understood lagging indicator and leading indicator? Clear? Huh? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll go back to the question. What's the answer? The overall purpose of the balanced scorecard approach is everyone answer correctly. Exactly. And others, Darren, Vinayak, why you didn't get right. Darren, what's the answer? Are you there, Darren? He's not there actually. Okay. So A is the right answer. It helps that it helps to turn strategy into action. It's a tool. Okay. So the B, why are saying benchmark against competitors? No. The overall purpose of the balanced scorecard approach is to help to turn the strategy into action. Okay. That's what we discussed now so far. So one of the problems in the organization that Kaplan and Norton both are the pioneers who worked for Paradigm. They introduced this concept, found that the employees do not know how to turn the strategy into a day-to-day action. The balanced scorecard approach gives the employees something to aim for that should be consistent with the organization strategies. Understood? This is, if you understood this paragraph, then you are very good, good to go. The balanced scorecard approach gives the employees something to aim for that should be consistent with the organization strategy. So we looked at this. Then can you try to answer this? The measurement, percentage of employees following a supervisor's approved competency model would most likely be placed in which perspective of the balanced scorecard? We talked about balanced scorecard, right? A different perspective. We talked about financial perspective. So you look at before here. I'll focus on this. Okay. Financial. For example, financial perspective. The objective is to succeed financially. How should we appear to our shareholders? Okay. So you'll have the objectives for this statement, okay, and then you'll have KPI measures and the targets, what's the targets we achieve, and what are the initiatives you have taken, okay. Then we'll move on to the next perspective, customer perspective. To achieve our vision, how should we appear to our customers? Customers are king, So how, in order to delight the customer, what objectives we need to have? Then you come out with the KPIs to measure and targets and initiatives. Okay. Then learning and growth. See here, to achieve our vision, always talking about now linking with the vision and strategy. To do that, what we do to achieve our vision, how will we sustain our ability to change and improve? Through various, you may have KPIs to increase the skill level upgradation, and you may have targets, and you may take a related initiatives. Okay. Then internal business processes, cycle time. You have to be more efficient, right? So satisfy our shareholders, customers, what business processes must be excellent. For that, what is the specific objectives, KPI measures, target, and initiatives? Clear, huh? So this is how the scorecard is 4 perspective pyramid. Now the question is the measurement, percentage of employees following a supervisor approved competency model, percentage of employee following a supervisor approved competency model. This is a measurement KPI. Would most likely be placed in which perspective of the balanced scorecard? Brilliant. Vinayak, what's the answer? Darren? Darren, are you there? Vinayak? B is the right answer, correct. Learning and growth. Okay. So the measurement relates to helping grow the workforce, and this would most likely fit with the learning and growth perspective of the balanced scorecard. This one we'll look at the next class, the balanced scorecard, which is created by the Dr. Robert and Dr. Robert Kaplan, and David Norton, and their colleagues at Palladium Group, they come out with this, philosophical underpinning of the balanced scorecard, helping the organizations to articulate the strategy in actionable terms. The balanced scorecard provides a roadmap for the strategy execution, for mobilizing and aligning the executives and employees and making a strategy a continual process. The balanced scorecard is a journey, it's a journey. Okay, so the workforce scorecard offers a framework that identifies and measures the outcomes, behaviors, and competencies, mindset, and the culture required for the workforce success, and reveals how each dimension impacts the bottom line. Okay, so the other side, flip side of the perspective is the emphasis is on looking at the role of the human capital from the outside in approach. Okay, or customer back. Okay, not from the inside out approach, starting from the HR function. Okay, what the customer stakes, shareholder expectations, that's coming, from that PROHRD operating. Okay, so the HR scorecard argues that HR measurement systems must be based on a clear understanding of organizational strategy and the capabilities and the behaviors of the workforce required to implementing the strategy. Thus, HR scorecard is a mechanism for describing and measuring how people and people management systems create value in the organizations, as well as communicating the key organizational objectives to the workforce. The HR scorecard is built around the series of examples and the processes that helps the managers and HR architecture that relentlessly emphasize and reinforce implementation of the firm's strategy. If you look at this figure, how the linkage is done. Balanced scorecard, you have the corporate level, finance, financial, the financial capital, customer capital, internal process capital, innovation capital, learning and growth, human, organization, IT capital, intellectual capital, all that there are targeted. We need to achieve intellectual capital. How we can do this? By linking with the workforce scorecard. Workforce success, you need to have a workforce success, leadership and workforce behavior that we talked about, competency framework. You need to properly define, and workforce competencies, workforce mindset and culture, has to be properly, defined and has to be processed, managed. And then from that, you drill down to HR scorecard. How you can have effective HR scorecard? By right HR deliverables and cost. Okay, right type of HR alignment. You need to have a right type of HR alignment, right HR practices, and right HR professionals who are doing the professional certification like SPHR, SHRM certification. Right HR professionals. With that, you can build HR scorecard, which is linked to HR scorecard and balanced scorecard. The linkage is there. So the time is up. We'll continue next class. Okay. Any doubts?
Okay, Mr. President.
Okay, welcome.